Hey y'all, so for today's video, I thought I would do something very different, so not a vlog, but essentially I'm going to rank the second year courses that I've taken so far at Western and see how they stack up. I also did want to note that I did take one first year summer course and one first year course during this semester. But I'm just not going to include them because they're first year courses, and this is a second year course video. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. Okay, I'll also just put AirPods on so y'all could hear me better, hopefully. So the first course is Biochem 2280A. It's just like intro to biochem. I took this in the summer. I would probably give it around a D. Yeah, I would say a D for now. So in this course, it was like kind of like fundamental concepts of biochemistry, macromolecules, metabolism, like molecular basis of cancer, transcription, translation, recombinant DNA, stuff like that, all basic stuff. The reason I hated this course was because, so this course, it's usually a full year summer course, meaning it's 12 weeks, but for some reason this year they made it 6 weeks. So it was the material of a 4-month course and cut down to 6 weeks. Not cut down, condensed, but it was just so much shorter, which means it was a lot faster. I had literally like, I don't even know, like 8 or 9 lectures per day, which was not very exciting. The assignments were, in my opinion, unfairly marked. The prof changed the rubric to the assignment after we all submitted our assignment, so we all did that, and he refused to change any of our grades. The midterms and everything else was just a mess. It was just difficult. It was also my first time doing like online exams, which also made it worse because there was only a lot of technical issues and the prof refused to help. So yeah, overall, it just like not a good course. Like I did end up doing quite well in it, but like I would never want to take this specific course again. So the next course I'm going to talk about is Bio 2382, or Cell Bio. I took this the exact same time as I took Biochem. It was 6 weeks. The interesting thing was that this was the first time ever it was offered online because the whole COVID thing started happening. I really didn't think I was going to take this course, but then I just took it for fun, and yeah. So I would probably rank this probably A tier, which is kind of crazy. I'll get into that in a bit, but so essentially the basic things that we learned in this course was, let's see, structural organization of cells related to their function, composition and dynamics of the plasma membrane, synthesis and trafficking of proteins, cell motility, membrane receptors, cell-to-cell adhesion and recognition, stuff like that. I honestly really did not expect to like this course at all. Ever since like grade 11 or grade 12 bio, like I hated cells. Like I always wanted to like skip that section because I hated it. But I took this, and honestly it was like outstanding because this was the first course that I had taken that wasn't so kind of generic or general. It really went into depth, and it really related a lot of the things that we were learning to human diseases, and I don't know, like a lot of different things that I really wanted to learn. Also, the content, it wasn't the exact same content that people learn in regular years. I think it was 70% of the content, so it wasn't as overwhelming. I loved it because I got also introductions to immunology, immunotherapy, cancer biology, a whole bunch of different things that I was also interested in going into. So I like that as well. The prof was outstanding. His assignments were pretty good. The exams were pretty easy. it was a really fun course, a really good break from biochem too. So yeah, A tier course. All right, so the next course is Bio 2483, which is ecology. I took this again in the summer. This was second term of the summer semester, so it was right after cell bio and biochem. So this course, I would probably put it in C tier. It was an alright course. So in the course, we learned about like life history, behavioral ecology, parasitism, mutualism, biogeography, landscape ecology, nutrient cycling, a bunch of stuff, kind of just like different ecosystem levels. It was an alright course. There was like a lot of different assignments which helped, I think, boost up like a lot of people's marks. But what I would say was the prof that I had, he only teaches it in the summer, but really did not like him. I thought I would because he's like the nicest guy ever, but he marked extremely difficult and did not give a justified reason to why he would give the mark. Like he would be like, oh, I'm giving you this mark just because I'm giving you this mark. Like, the midterm was really easy, but the final was a lot more difficult than I expected, which dropped my mark a lot. And it was interesting because it exposed me to ecology, and we learned a little bit about epidemiology and how ecology plays into disease, which is cool, and I liked that part of it. But for the most part, I found the content extremely boring and dry, considering I don't want to go into this field. So yeah. Alright, so those were my summer courses, and now I'm getting into my courses that I just did this past semester. So I guess I'll do my full year courses that I'm doing just to get it out of the way. So the first one is Women's Studies 2220E, Feminist Theory and Practice Across the Disciplines. I would put this at probably D tier, and I'll get into that in a bit. But essentially this course kind of looks at feminist theory across like the disciplines. So we looked at social sciences, health sciences, law. Since this is a full year course, I've only done half of it. The semester is broken up into two sections. The first section is social sciences, which is what I just did, and then this next semester is going to be arts and humanities. So with social sciences, we did a lot of feminist epistemology, embodied knowledge production, feminist praxis, reproductive choices, technology and harm, agency and rights, and work and economy. So I thought that this was a pretty interesting course in terms of the fact that I've never taken a women's studies course before, but I felt it was a lot of reading, and the readings were either, if I didn't enjoy them, they were either complex, like way too complex, or extremely dry for me. The prof that I had for this section was like amazing. She's so kind, really a nice person. But I found that with this course, like marking was like really difficult. I didn't know how marking was in women's studies, but I guess it's hard because like I didn't expect the marks that I have been getting, just because I'm so like science minded, and science and like I guess humanities courses mark very different. So yeah, that was just something to keep in mind. But I am looking forward to next semester. We're doing a lot more interesting things like media, visual arts, journalism, stuff like that. So yeah. Alright, so my next full year course is Women's Studies 2244, Women in Health. I would put this in B tier. I'll get into that in a bit, but this course is broken up into 6 modules. We going over the medicalization of women's health, politics of reproduction, social determinants of health, women's experiences of healthcare, a whole bunch of different concepts. I really want to take this course. The course was the reason I decided to do a women's studies minor in the first place, and I find that the lectures are really interesting. We have lots of really engaging discussions every week about the content that we're learning, and it's so interesting. But the one thing is that, like the other course that I mentioned, the marking is very difficult. Yeah, I'm excited to do next semester again. It's getting a lot more interesting. We're talking about intersectionality, Indigenous women's healthcare experiences, poverty, intergenerational trauma, and those are more things that I'm more interested in, even though I'm interested in all of these things. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. Yeah. Okay, so getting back into science courses, the next course is Chem 2213 or Orgo Chem 1. We're like really just functional groups like alcohols, carboxylic acids, aldehydes, ketones, and a bunch of reactions related to all of the functional groups. And I cannot like overstate this or understate this enough, whatever the word is. Like, there is a lot of reactions in this course. But anyways, I would probably put this in D tier. I enter this course with a really good knowledge of Orgo, because in grade 12, my chemistry teacher loved organic chemistry, so we spent an absurd amount of time doing Orgo. So I was like, you know what, like that will carry me, and it didn't. While it did help me because I was able to like spot functional groups like within a second, like that's not what Orgo was, because that's what Orgo was really like predicting the products given like reagents. Like that's essentially all Orgo was this semester, and that's not something I was used to. And like ironically, like this was my best course this semester, but I didn't really like it. The labs were very simple though, which is why it's not an E tier. The labs were simple. We had extra like online assignments that were super simple. We made TikToks. That was really fun. Loved my TikTok. So we had a lot of other things to boost our marks, and we also had 3 midterms worth 10% each, which all boosted my mark. But I just really did not enjoy the content of the course. Yeah, that's it. Alright, so my next course is Stats 2244, Stats for Science, or Biostats, whatever you want to call it. So this course pretty much just covered topics such as sampling, confidence intervals, ANOVA, regression, and correlation. I would rank this, honestly, in E tier. I know. Shock. I honestly really, really wanted to love this course, because like my job is literally in like the epidemiology and biostatistics department. Like I've been doing biostatistics research for a while, and I really thought I was gonna like it, but it just was not what I liked. I think part of it had to do with the prof. I hate to like blame profs and stuff, but this prof did not really give a shit at all, and his lectures were very, very dry and very boring. I did like some of the content in the beginning, a lot of the theory, but when it came to R, there was such a disconnect between the labs that we did for coding and the lecture. Like I felt like I like missed something, because like he would be doing shit that like we hadn't learned. Also, I keep swearing, I'm sorry. Just really, this course makes me irritated. So that's pretty much it. Like I had a lot of expectations, and that's the reason why it was an E. I had a lot of really high expectations for this course, and it didn't meet any of those expectations, so yeah. Okay, so my last second year course is microbiome 2500A. That was biology of infection and immunity. So this course covered immunology, bacteriology, virology, parasitology, and I would rate this in S tier. I absolutely loved this course. This was my elective for the year technically, because it wasn't required for anything that I needed, but I loved it. Like everything about it was so cool. I love the fact that it was constantly changing. So for example, immunology was 11 lectures, and like after 11 lectures I was like, okay, immunology is like, it's kind of dragging, like whatever. And then it switched and we did bacteriology and like the Black Death, and like that was so interesting because I love the history of science and medicine, and I just loved every section in its own way. Which I don't know, it was just, I loved it, loved the course. The profs were all really nice, really great lectures, super thorough and understand, like the lectures were great. Like I understood everything after I did it, and they only tested on their lecture material, like exactly like if you just studied the lectures, like you would do perfectly fine. I think we had 7 quizzes, and then the top 5 were like included in our average. And the quizzes were honestly really easy. It was exactly what you would expect. It was the same as the midterms and finals, which was great. The only, this like quirky little thing that I didn't like was the fact that it was like half of the questions were, or more than half the questions for the 2 midterms and the final were, that there were multiple choice. And in first year bio, we also had multiple choice, but if you like, let's say 3 of the answers were right and you selected 2, you would get like 2 out of 3. But with this, like let's say like it was 3 and you picked 2, you would get 0. So that was like not something I was used to, and it like really like made sure I had to like carefully pick my answers, especially since these exams were linear. So that was kind of irritating, but just the sheer content from the course like made it so much better. Like I'm 100% interested in taking upper year micro-M courses in my next few years, so yeah. Alright, so those are all my second year courses that I've taken this year. I hope you agree with my ranking. If you do or if you don't, please leave a comment below letting me know what you think about it. I hope you enjoyed this. Please, if you do like these kinds of videos, I can definitely do more in the future for like next semester and next year and whatnot. And yeah, feel free to like and subscribe for more of this university related